So we're here today to share actually a special story. A story that really celebrates the courage of several individuals, of a lot of individuals that really saved Sabine's life. We're also here to raise awareness on this Heart Month and about heart disease and the importance of CPR. And so on the evening of January 19th, Sabine was participating in soccer practice, as she had done many times before, and suffered a completely unexpected cardiac arrest. So to tell Sabine's story the way it unfolded, we're going to ask each of the links of her chain of survival to share the experience of what happened during that night. So we'll hear from some of the heroes that saved Sabine's life and allowed her to be here today.
I would like to say just beautiful things about Sabine to begin. Sabine is amazing. She is a strong, happy kid and always wildly active, whether she's reading a good book, hanging out with her 3 siblings, and enjoying friends at school, playing all the sports she enjoys, and loving life on and off the field with her wonderful soccer team. Sabine is vibrant, powerful, and super fun.
So it's January 19th, Thursday evening. She's at soccer training. And one unique element is I was there as her dad. I'm typically not there. So I was there. The reason I was there because we were hanging out waiting for Coach Nick to perform an evaluation. It's a normal thing. We meet in person, talk about soccer. So I watched the end of practice where she was energized, scoring some goals. And then right at the end, she began looking fatigued, unexpectedly fatigued, hands on the hips, hands on her head. And the soccer practice ended. She takes a seat, and her teammates who love her, "Dad, come on over." So I wander over, and she said, "You know what? My chest hurts, and I can't breathe." And she's had some similar symptoms 2 other times in the last year during soccer, and all things that say, "Oh, well, maybe it's dehydration. You're a little tired. You're exhausted." But this time I started asking a few more questions. I was like, "Well, tell me what hurts and where it hurts." So I was thinking, we got to go to the pediatrician, just check some things out. So we calm down, we have some water, and then sure enough, she's like, "Let's go kick around some more." So we got out, we did some little kicking. She felt a little better. And then I sent a ball to the middle of the field for her to chase after and bring it back, and she didn't run out. So I jogged out there and met her. And she had her hands on her head again. She said, "Oh, it hurts again in my chest." And she said, "I hate this." And she put her arms around me. She said, "I'm dizzy." And she just collapsed. I get on 911, and immediately he's by her side. And so he and I are on either side of Sabine. 911 operator is another hero that needs to be recognized. She was phenomenal. And so she said, "You need to start chest compressions," which was a very bold move from an amazing 911 operator on the other end of the phone. It was a call to action for Coach Nick. Immediately, he found her sternum, he locked his hands, and he started chest compressions immediately. I was still freaking out. He was cool. He was doing it. I was freaking out. And 911 operator stayed with us. She was amazing. Coach kept his compressions until EMS started running up the field.
That night, I'm Nick Snyder, coach with Lone Star Soccer. Been Sabine's coach here for, about 6 months. And I'm so happy that we're here today talking about what we're talking about and appreciative of everyone's efforts. I see a lot of faces from folks that are recognized in that moment. I also want to say thank you so much to 911 dispatch for your help, because you were everything for me that night, and so glad that the outcome is what it is, and happy that I was prepared to do what needed to be done.
My name is Michael Wright. I'm the Chief of Operations at Austin Travis County EMS, and I get to share a great story with you. These types of calls literally take a community of public safety agencies, of hospital healthcare, of rehab, communications, all those things coming together. As already been mentioned, this was sort of an average January night in Texas. It was a little warm, kind of humid, all the things, and all across the city of Austin and Texas, there were soccer players going out and doing what they do. For everybody else, this was an average evening. There was nothing special or spectacular about it until that very moment when this 11-year-old girl hugged her dad and went to the ground. And at that very moment, what we believe is that her heart had stopped and had gone into a terminal and typically fatal arrhythmia. At this point, What leads from that moment to this moment is when every single link in the chain of survival is intact. Austin Travis County EMS arrives, and specifically our men on Medic 40. Ross Copeland sitting right over there, and right behind him, Jake Redding. They bring highly acute, highly critical, advanced life support to the patient side. And one of the things we talk about is we take the emergency room and the ICU out of the hospital and put it on a soccer field. All this comes together, and at 22 minutes after Sabine dropped to the ground, her heart started again. 22 minutes. Now, what is amazing to us is that if we did not have bystander CPR, if we didn't have the Austin Fire Department, if we didn't have the Austin Travis County EMS paramedics, we didn't have Commander Smith all in this together, that 22 minutes would have a completely different outcome than what we have today. As soon as the heart got started, you would think, yay, the heart started, everything's good. No, that's when the work actually begins for those paramedics. In Commander Smith's best estimation, that this was going to be a 20 or 25-minute response, and so he made a critical decision and asked for STARFlight to respond. STARFlight, without a second thought, launches. Now, none of this is one agency or one team doing this on their own. This is what happens when our public safety agencies all come together seamlessly to provide this level of care. But then this other incredible thing happens. The helicopter takes off, and I just want to tell you, by the way, that 20 or 25-minute trip to the hospital is cut down to 4 minutes because of STARFlight. 4 minutes. This is what happens when we have a system that integrates seamlessly across all the agencies we interact with. But it doesn't stop there, because there is still, even though Sabine has gone to the hospital with their dad, there's still mom, there's still a brother, and there's still 2 other siblings at home in the Austin Police Department. I just can't begin to tell you how much I appreciate what you all did. The Austin Police Department steps up and says, we'll step in. And one of the officers actually volunteered to drive Sabine's brother to the house, check on the other siblings, and actually come back later and check on them again. But it doesn't stop there. There's Sabine. There's what Commander Smith is doing, what Chief Chronic is doing. That's what the fire department, police department is doing. But I'm going to tell you the other part of this is we live in a community that has a hospital like Dell Children's Medical Center. World-renowned. Another critical link in the chain of survival.
So you guys have heard how amazing all this stuff that happened before, how integrated, and how really all the pieces of the community really helped for Sabine to get here on time. And that's actually work that has been done for years before, so those 22 minutes can actually be seamlessly put together. So we proceeded to the operating room emergently. She obviously did a remarkable recovery, and 5 days after surgery, she was able to go home. You basically are talking about hundreds of people that really came together to be able to make this a success story.
Just a chance for me to close out here, and once again, just thank everyone that's been involved. I've had conversations in the past, and I've shared that I think that Austin Travis County EMS is the best EMS system in the country. But when I talk about EMS systems, it's more than just the folks that are wearing the EMS uniform. As I look around the room and I see everyone else here, it is everyone that is in this room. It is all of our colleagues, all of the support that we get from across the city that makes an absolutely phenomenal EMS system. There is no safer place in the United States to be than the city of Austin. And there's no better group of individuals than the men and women of Austin Travis County EMS, of the Austin Fire Department, the Austin Police Department, the nurses, the doctors from Dell Children's, the paramedics and nurses from STARFlight. Were it not for all of those pieces, we wouldn't be having the same conversation here today. And I think it's important for us to recognize that it is that cohesion, that continuum of care, from the 911 operator that takes the call, that gives the instructions at the beginning, all the way through to the response of the fire department, the response of EMS, the Austin Police Department and their support, STARFlight and their support, and of course the nurses and doctors at Dell Children's that really made this so successful. The idea that bystander CPR, getting CPR started, getting early defibrillation out there, getting defibrillators across the city is the key to success and the key to survival in cardiac arrest. We have made it part of our strategic mission, strategic goals, and strategic plan for Austin Travis County EMS to improve the rate of pre-hospital bystander CPR and defibrillation. And I encourage all of you, as we look at this month, Heart Month, to go out. And if you don't have training, if you're not CPR certified, if you haven't had a CPR class, please learn CPR. Because that's truly how it is that we're going to save lives. We're so glad to see you here and healthy today. And thank you to everyone that was involved in making this truly a success.